coming at you from the farm today with kind of a fun one. It's a massive snow day for us, and we're going to take that 325G out and do some plowing. But before I do much plowing, I put a pair of tracks down on the driveway and then parked it back in the barn because, folks, it's so pretty out here. We're at the tail end of probably a good 6 inches of wet, heavy snow. They're telling us that we got somewhere around a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. It dropped 6 inches of snow on us, and I think the temperature right now is like 32 degrees, and it's like 80% humidity. It's just nuts with this storm. Water literally drips out of the snowball if you pick it up. So it's one of these kind of snows that's a heart attack snow, and it's actually very hard on things here on the farm. You know, it weighs down the fence lines. It's certainly hard on the pine trees and so forth. But it also has some advantages too. It's wonderful for moisture. This cornfield here right across from us gets all flattened down, which is kind of nice. It beats the weeds down that you don't care about. It sure makes things look awful pretty. So I thought I'd show that to you. Here's one of our corner posts here with our Christmas display of our tree and candy canes on it. And then here's our nativity on the other side. Just looks really pretty from above. Our great big Norway spruce pines, they're sure weighted down with snow, and it's hard on them, including even the flag there is weighted down a little bit. But it sure is pretty to see it this way. I'm certainly not the best drone flyer, folks, but I'm going to try my best to fly it here in the winter cold with a little bit of a breeze and show you the place from kind of a different viewpoint, winter, that is. This is not a lot of snow for us yet. Typically, you know, we get up into that several feet of snow as far as piles and stuff. So having, you know, a 6-inch dump is not too tough. But what makes this one a little bit more unique is the fact that, you know, we're dealing with such heaviness, and it just sticks to all the trees and stuff and makes it look really pretty cool and white. As I'm fighting the wind here a little bit, you may see the picture rotate. I know you didn't see the flag blowing, but the flag is stuck down to the pole thanks to the wet, heavy snow. As we move across the swing set in the back of the yard here, you can see the greenhouse, the 2 chicken barns, and one of the leans there for the goats, affectionately called the Love Shack because we use it for our breeding pen. Towards the middle of the screen there is one of our gardens. You can see the fence posts on it and all the outdoor furniture there covered in snow. Kind of cool and pretty, to be quite honest. The beautiful roof is white on the barn and black on the house, but they both look white today, which is pretty cool. And you can see the horses out there, out by one of their round bales. We can go bug them in a second. They typically don't like the drone. You can see their little tracks. They're already making tracks up to the water. That's where we've got a Bar A water for them. We have many of those on the farm, and they work really nice for these guys. Yep, we're starting to already get noticed by the horses. They don't like the low-flying aircraft, if you know what I mean. It kind of bugs them, so they're just going to probably run up here and hide by the water. They made a couple trips up here, as you can see already, by their tracks. Our 3 big Percherons are really nice horses on the farm. We use them to cart and to pull us around, and we've got one of them named Mabel, and she lets us ride pretty nicely. This area right in front of us is my land, too, and it's a little bit swampy here, but it holds some really nice deer, excellent pheasants, and, you know, it's just kind of a reserve spot. As we fly over the little bit of a pond there and the kind of wetter land, we get into one of the bigger hay fields. Originally, this was corn, but I'm not into crop farming. I need all the hay I can get, and whatever hay I get extra, I sell because, you know, my animals need it. And what you're looking at here is actually the rest of the homestead. This was the original homestead on the farm. This is where the house originally was. And when we got the homestead, the house was already gone. The barn had been taken down to build a cabin way in the back. And the driveway was in such bad shape, we could not even get back to these buildings. So long and short of it, we built up front. And then over time, we took out somewhere around 250 trees and reclaimed this area, saved the original 1955 Quonset, and then rebuilt these other couple barns in here. And then you can see the back of the hayfield, and it goes back into our woods. That woods is a beautiful woods, folks. It holds deer for us. It's got a beautiful creek in there. These little houses that you see are some of our deer stands. You've seen them probably in other videos. They're the Banks blinds. They stay out all year, and, you know, we have success in those when it comes to hunting time. We have turkeys out here. Unfortunately, we do have a bear, so that kind of makes it a headache sometimes for our bees, but we do our best. You can see the farm here from the backside, but I'm actually trying to kind of zoom in on this original homestead so you can kind of see it a little more. We've got basically kind of two barns, one with an extension on it, and then we've got the Quonset. You can see the old silo ring. That's what we use for vegetables and stuff, and you've seen that in our videos. And then that little building is the bee building. You can see the little posts around it. That's where we have electric around that to keep the bear away. But that's the original homestead, and it's actually probably the highest piece on our property. Our house is actually sitting up pretty high too, but not quite as high as that originally was. So as we fly the drone here back over, you can see the bottom has got our orchard in it, which has got some trees coming up in it. That's our second orchard. You get a good look at the solar. You can see the long, narrow, slotted pig pen area there. And again, you can pick the horses up on the left. All the paddocks to the right are all for the goats, and so are the goat leans there. So there's three goat leans there to the left and one above the goat barn. The goat barn is the barn right next to the solar. It houses all the controls for the solar. As we slide off here to the east more, you can see there's another little orchard up there halfway up on the little soft hill. I got another hayfield straight below me, and I'm just trying to take another angle view of the farm. I think it actually looks really pretty from this view. It's kind of the back side of the farm. I enjoy it a lot doing this. Again, I'm probably not the steadiest and the best at it, but flying a drone in certain states of weather, in this case being winter right after a heavy snow, I think is just absolutely beautiful. Another view of the old place up there, the old original homestead, the hayfield. And as we come across and go up the driveway, I'm going to have to get done here soon because obviously I didn't charge the battery enough. And two, I need to get this road plowed out. So the original driveway that comes down to our place at the original homestead is about a half-mile long. And then this driveway, which goes over to the homestead, is just shy of a half-mile. So literally I've got pretty close to a mile to plow out. And typically this is all gravel roads out here. So my driveways are all gravel. I've got a beautiful tractor with a great big plow on it that I can do this with, folks. But this stuff's wet and heavy, and the ground is just froze underneath it, but not enough to retain the rock back. So I will not be plowing it with that. What I will be doing is I'll take the bucket and I'll just be pushing the snow, and I'll be cutting it off, maybe say with maybe a ½ inch to an inch, so that I don't scrape up the gravel. I find that works absolutely the best. I don't want to destroy the gravel until the ground gets frozen and I get what they call a hard pack where I can plow on with the big plow. So I jump in the skid here. I've got a passenger with me, my little son here, Matthias. I know his hat's on crooked for the video, but you know, he's kind of strapped in here with the arm bar and the seatbelt, and he's not quite sure what to think of this. He's a little bit tired. It's pretty early morning here for him, and he's out skid steering with Dad, which he absolutely loves, but he's not sure what to think of that camera. But this is what I'm talking about. Instead of plowing and pushing all the snow off to the sides and potentially digging into that gravel base and making a mess, I've learned to just take the skid steer and make two tracks down in the driveway, one on the right, one on the left, and it doesn't completely, take off all the snow, but it makes it so that I don't take much gravel. As you see, there's very little gravel in that pile, and this is a completely graveled driveway for basically a mile of it. I find this works absolutely fantastic. Then in a couple nights, it's supposed to get down to -5 or -10, I forget. In the daytime, it's going to be highs of about 0. Once that happens, all this will turn rock hard, and any more snow that we get on top of it, I'll be able to take that great big snowway, 9-foot plow with the big V on it, and put it behind the 5090R John Deere, and just fly down these roads and plow it out in one sweep. You know what I mean? But until then, I've learned not to destroy my gravel, not to put a lot of gravel on the edges and force me to have to fix it in the spring. This is how we do it. So I've probably got another 20 minutes of this. I'm not going to bore you on it, but we're going to head back up to the house here, and I'm probably going to drop my son off because he's starting to fall asleep in my lap here, and turn around and finish plowing this place out today. Probably not going to get a lot of other things done. The baby goats are growing and doing well. I think we've only lost one this season, which is great, since December here started, and I'm real pleased. My wife is starting to get ready to put ads out and get goats sold for 4-Hers and FFA soon, so It's a very good time of the year. We're obviously in Advent. We're getting ready for our Christmas season. And like I said, weather comes into play, and I had a lot of little projects to do today, but they're going to kind of get put on hold as, we deal with some plow and snow. And of course, I'll admit it, I took a half hour and flew the drone for you guys and even myself. I really wanted to see what it looked like from the air with such a beautiful, beautiful snow. I know it's hard on the equipment. I know it's hard on the waters and the fence lines and all the electrical wires and stuff like that. But sometimes you just got to admire what God gave you and deal with it on the farm. That's just the way it goes, is it not? Thanks for watching, folks. Please subscribe to us and follow us. We need your support. Thanks.